Well, hey there. Welcome to day 1339 of What's She Up To Now. It's Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I document the journey here on what I've been doing as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business over 48 years in different businesses and different industries, and 25 over a quarter century of that simultaneously working in corporate America as an engineer, as a manager, as a director and vice president in different capacities, primarily in the area of quality. And how I define quality in the organizations I worked for was it meant I got to stick my nose and my fingers in everybody's business. It was all about processes and interconnectivity of the different departments and working together and how we create the best possible customer experience for our customers by working together, by enhancing and understanding each of our jobs and how they work together to create what it is that we want as an organization. So I love working in corporate America, but I also love being on my own, doing my own thing. Following my divorce, I had the opportunity, I say opportunity because it didn't necessarily feel like it at the time, but I definitely look at it as one of the jumping points and changing points in my life as an opportunity to do something different. I'd always been curious about the internet, but I'd never really jumped in. And you know, it's because I was going through my career and my businesses as the internet was evolving and developing. You know, I remember the days when we weren't even sure the internet was going to be a thing. Yep, for scientists and engineers and people like me, it was really fascinating and interesting, but we didn't really necessarily know what it was going to morph into and how it was going to impact the rest of the world. But now we know. So now when we know better, we do better. So today I'm thinking about it's high time to cultivate. What the heck does that mean? Well, I like to take what I'm doing in other areas and aspects of my business and my life and combine them into, to bring them together and summarize here on this, really this is my video log of keeping track of what I'm doing. I've become visually challenged, especially over the last couple of years. Since my 20s, I was blind in my left eye, and now over the course of started in about 2000, always a little bit in my right eye, but in 2011, following my sudden cardiac arrest in 2010, my right eye started to take the same journey that my left eye did in my 20s. And so that was a couple of years ago now that finally I hit that tipping point of visual blindness. And I don't like talking about it because I don't think I let it impact me too much. I mean, it does, definitely does. I don't drive, so it means people have to get me around. I don't do certain things I used to do, but I still do a lot of the things I used to do as well. I just do them through fuzzy vision and with the use of aids and tools like massive magnifying glasses, big screen televisions, to put my computer on. Thankfully, we have the technology and the ability now that I can do those things. And so if I make mistakes, if I make typos, which I do every single day regularly, which super irritates me, but I've learned to cut myself some slack and realize that that's obviously something I was too judgmental for when I was younger. I was an editor of the newspaper and journalism, and that was one of the things I was supposed to look for is typos and mistakes and make sure I eliminated them. And so it just became a habit. And now I don't usually see it till I'm reviewing something big screen or somebody comments on it and I'm like, oh, so embarrassing. But I'm working on not being embarrassed by it because it just is a nature and a part of who I am. And if I need to, I'll get an editor and somebody to proofread all my stuff before it goes out, but I hope I don't have to get to that point. Anyway, I digress. So today our idiom for supersize your business, and I think I'm going to do a series of these, was it's high time. I was researching yesterday and I found like 39 different idioms with respect to time. And since time is literally our most valuable resource and it's not renewable, etc., you know, we got renewable energy. We can always make more money, but we can't create more time. And we don't know how much time we've got here on the planet, so we have to make the best of it. We have to live in the present moment and do the best we can. So today our idiom was it's high time, and I think probably for at least the next month or so, probably through the whole month of October to kind of coincide with the Get Up and Go Challenge, which starts the day after tomorrow. Oh my gosh, is our next free 30-day Get Up and Go Challenge to help people to make change that always guarantees they get the best results for them, an automatic response, an automatic part of their being, by learning a framework called the SOAP framework, installing it in their subconscious through practice in each area and aspect of their life during the 30-day challenge, so that they can do it automatically. We do certain things automatically already, but they're not always in our best interest. We all have habits that aren't in our best interest. I have a habit of eating a caramel every night before bed because I tell myself I love caramels. probably not the best habit. Could I break that habit? I know how. Yep. Do I want to? No. It's one of my little joys and pleasures and rewards for a day well lived, a day well done. So it's high time was our idiom today, and it's high time means it's really long past time you do something. And nobody gets to decide that for us but us. We get to decide what it's high time we do. Is it high time we take better care of ourselves? Is it high time we end or start a relationship? Is it high time we learn about something? Is it high time we supersize and grow our business? Is it high time we whatever it is for you? I remember there were definitely high times in my life in the past where I heard from my parents and family and friends, it's high time you settle down and get married. It's high time you finish school. It's high time you decide what you're going to major in. It's high time you this. It's high time you that. And so I'm very familiar with this particular expression. I think it's fun. Reminds me of high noon and high tea. But it shared the meaning of it in Supersize Your Business. If you're curious about idioms, what they mean, where they come from, I've done over 1,000 of them now on my Supersize Your Business page, and I share them for a couple of reasons. One, it was something I started doing when I was packing up my house of 25 years, and I guess 20 years we'd lived there, to move. And I'm an accumulator of stuff. You can imagine by my background that I like things. I like stuff. So I was set a goal for myself that I was going to get rid of 90% of the material things that I own. And I did that. I definitely did that. But it was a challenge. It was a challenge for me. I tend to be a pack rat since birth. Did my parents tell jokes about how I would carry around those little metal Band-Aid boxes shoved in my pocket, and they were so full of little treasures and things I found throughout my day, they could barely pry it out of my little pocket. So I've always been like a collector, and I like things and collecting things, and I love little things and small things and stuff like that. So sometimes we collect too many things, and so as part of eliminating all those things and working on that project, I needed something that I could do every day in my Supersize Your Business group to keep me consistent, keep me honest, keep me moving forward while I was doing this big project on the side. And don't get me wrong, it was a very big project. So I found this book of idioms that was my kids'. I had bought it for them probably in middle school, and it had never been cracked open. It was a book of 600 plus idioms. Sorry about my alarm. It was a book of 600 plus idioms, and so I just started randomly picking an idiom. And I thought, oh, I'll do this for about a month or two, so 600's plenty, and I'll just roll through this. I'll share the idioms, and then I'll stop doing it, and I'll roll back into just training and teaching and coaching and doing whatever I do on Supersize Your Business. Well, it turns out I like doing it. It was like my version of improv, because I'm definitely not funny. I'm not a funny person. I like to think I have a sense of humor, but I don't have timing and delivery, and I don't consider myself funny. Probably because my sister had a comedy club in the 80s that I used to hang out at, and these people were funny. I mean, they're some of the biggest names and most famous people you know today did the comedy circuit in the early 80s, and so I realized that I'm not funny, and so I was going to have to count on something else in my personality. But it's my version of the improv, because I find an idiom, or I would randomly pick an idiom out of that book, and then I would say, well, what does it mean? Where does it come from? And how do I apply that to growing and building my business? And so that's how it started, and then it just kind of rolled into, I got in the habit of doing it every day. And after about 1,000, you're in the habit of doing it. Now, will I switch it up and change it? Maybe the beginning of next year. But through the end of this year, I'm committed to still doing idioms. Why? Because they keep my mind going. They keep me thinking. They keep me cultivating a mind of and a sense of curiosity and wonder. And okay, well, how can I do this? Because early on, it was easy to pick an idiom. I picked the ones that were kind of related to business, and that was easy to tie them to business. But then I challenged myself to do all of them in the book. And as I was getting to the end of that book, got to tell you, there were some that it was almost impossible to figure out what is the business link to this particular expression or idiom. But I ended up doing that, and then going on to do, I'm over 400 after the book. So obviously I found different ways to find idioms. And sometimes I'll do a series like I'm going to do with the time, but I've done leadership, I've done changes and challenges, I've done business related ones. I think I started this year with a month or two of business, specifically the best business related idioms. So a couple of them repeat, but in 1,000 plus, there've only been a few repeats because they fit into the category really, really well, and I wasn't going to ignore them because they're one of the most that I've been doing. They're one of the biggest, most popular idioms with respect to that category. So I just did them again, and I noticed that even when I do them again, I am different than I was, 500 or 1,000 idioms ago. So what I talk about and how I tie it to business is different now than it was when I first started doing them. But I find them fascinating. I find it fun. I think the words we use, the things we say, are extremely important, both the way we talk to other people as well as talk to ourselves, how we communicate, how we define things. I think it's critical. It's one of the areas I'm actually doing an intentional coaching program and studying this year is on communication. It's a big part of, really I've never paid much attention to it. Being in journalism, you'd think that I had, but journalism used to be about reporting the facts and just reporting the facts, the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And so it wasn't about great vocabulary. It was actually about writing at an 8th grade or below level so that everybody could understand it. So totally different perspective than how I'm looking at it now. So that was our idiom today. And then our annual challenge is to do one thing every day that centers us. It's all about us getting to know ourselves better. And it was a saying about cultivating fields and also the importance of cultivating our mind. In that if we don't cultivate a field, we'll get a bunch of weeds and it won't be really fruitful. Well, neither will our brain and our mind. If we don't feed our brain and our mind things that help us to cultivate an attitude of learning and to learn things and grow and personally develop, then what are we going to do? We're going to stagnate or decline. So that's what that was about today. I'm still testing next year's annual challenge idea. And then I've got some other stuff that came up yesterday, of course, at the last minute that has to be dealt with immediately. There aren't very many things that have to be dealt with immediately, but some do. Legal things, tax things, stuff like that. Challenges that people are having, consulting clients and things. Those things need to be dealt with immediately because that's part of the customer experience and customer service. So, if I can help you in any way with offline or online businesses or combining the two, hit me up in the comments below. You can direct message me if you're on Facebook, just via this particular video. Otherwise, just ask, hunt me down, search me out. You can find me on the Share Horne-Ellstrom page. You can find me by messaging me through Supersize Your Business page. You can find me on the Get Up and Go Challenge. In the next couple of days, I'll be there every day, at least once or twice a day. Once doing the video live and then once doing my homework, because I always do my homework and do the homework that I assign people right along with the challenge so that I am continually improving and growing and enhancing my ability to handle changes and challenges automatically, as well as continuously improving and working on the different areas and aspects of my life. I'm using the Get Up and Go Challenge now to actually help me make big chunks of progress toward different aspects of my life and to help me achieve my goals and dreams and objectives faster. Because if I'm handling challenges and changes faster and better and automatically, then that's moving me in the direction I want my life to go. All right, have an awesome day. Again, if I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.